Gaddafi, but they're still encountering fierce resistance from soldiers who remain loyal to him. Civilians who have fled the city say the power is off and food is running low.
From all sides, the forces of the National Transitional Council are launching what they believe is the final assault on Colonel Gaddafi's hometown. NTC troops have taken most of the city of Sirte, and they say they have Gaddafi's men surrounded.
The Gaddafi forces and his loyalists are limited and besieged within a few square kilometres. We are seizing them on all sides. They are hiding in the university and some other buildings, but their number is small.
But despite the confident predictions by the NTC commanders that the fighting will be over within 24 hours, this is turning into a bitter battle for every street. Pro-Gaddafi forces have so far proven extremely determined to hold on to their remaining positions, and their snipers have been firing from the rooftops. They are also said to be very adept at moving between the key buildings they still control. Meanwhile, there are thousands of civilians caught amid the fighting. Fearful that they would be killed if they tried to leave the city, many are now trying to escape. They are being searched thoroughly at checkpoints for evidence of pro-Gaddafi sympathies, but many more are still unable to leave their homes or have nowhere else to go. After weeks of fighting, the casualties have been numerous on both sides, with the city's medical centres struggling to cope. However, it does now seem that this protracted battle for Gaddafi's birthplace is entering its final stages. Will Grant, BBC News.
Our correspondent Caroline Hawley is in Misrata, where many of those who've been wounded fighting Gaddafi loyalists have been taken. She says there are still some people in Tripoli and Sirte who still support Colonel Gaddafi.
Well, it's interesting. I was speaking to a woman from Sirte who's now living in Tripoli, and her family have moved there recently because of the fighting in Sirte. She said that she thought 40 to 50% of the people of Sirte are loyal to Muammar Gaddafi. Certainly in Tripoli you can still find people who say they support him. So although there are no opinion polls, but although it seems that the vast majority of Libyans are very, very glad to see the back of Colonel Gaddafi, certainly he does still have support, and he still has arms. His supporters have arms, and they are fighting very, very tenaciously in Sirte. We've heard for a long time now the confident predictions from forces loyal to the new government that they are going to take the city, but the battle has been extremely costly. Now, we don't know exactly what's happening with casualties among supporters loyal to Muammar Gaddafi, or indeed civilian casualties inside the city of Sirte itself. We know that the Red Cross is very concerned, that they are worried about the hospital. They called on all sides to spare the hospital there. But I'm talking to you from Misrata, where rebel casualties, or former rebel casualties, are coming. And we're with one of the doctors here, Dr. Ali Ahmed. How are you managing to cope with, I gather, large numbers of casualties?
Yes, we have this number of, as you know, last night we are facing 96 cases, and this number of cases make us in a problem because of deficiencies of our medical supplies, especially our drugs as anesthesia and analgesia. Also, this big number make deficiency in extra beds, as you know, especially in ICU cases. We don't have no more beds, and we didn't know exactly how many cases would be bringing here this day.
Of course, because the fighting is continuing. Everyone had hoped, or at least the NTC, the new government, had hoped it would be over quickly. That is not the case.
Yeah. That's why we try to evacuate this big number, to distribute these cases to other hospitals, or try to travel them outside Libya, to make our hospital is empty. Yeah. So
you can receive new casualties. What kind of injuries are you seeing?
This injury, some of them have head injury, another is chest and abdominal injury, and we have many cases of amputations. Last night we have 4 cases amputation. One of them is a child of 17 years old. We have amputated right arm and amputated right leg. And other case have 2 lower limbs are amputated. And on Friday we have 7 cases was amputated. Some cases have burns. 4 or 5 cases was burned, about 50 to 60% of burn. Another case was perforation of the eye.
Some very serious injuries.
Yeah.
Dr. Ali Ahmed, thank you very much.
Welcome.
So those are some of the injuries we've been hearing about on the side of the NTC, but we also know that NTC fighters yesterday were heavily bombarding the Ouagadougou Center. It's the huge conference center, very, very opulent, where Muammar al-Gaddafi used to host international summits. The NTC fighters are very keen to take that. They were using heavy bombardment yesterday, and there will certainly be casualties on the other side as well.